Hello, this is Abel, Best Landscape and Construction. Have you ever asked yourself why a retaining wall failed? Well, let me tell you the secret. As you can see here, we are building this retaining wall. This is a cinder block wall retaining wall. So the secret to build a retaining wall to last forever is the footer. What is the footer? The footer is the part of the wall that you normally don't see. As you can see here, this footer is 30 inches deep. Anytime you build a retaining wall, you need to dig down a minimum of 30 inches deep if the wall is higher than 2 feet. Depending on the state where you are located, you need to consult with an architect to see how deep the footer of the wall it needs to be. But in this case, as you can see here, we already poured the concrete. Before we pour the concrete, we install a rebar every 12 inch on center on both directions, and we also install a rebar every 16 inch in the vertical way. As you can see here, this footer is already done. We already poured the concrete. We poured the concrete today, and we're going to start to lay the block tomorrow. It's very important to lay wait 24 hours after you pour the concrete footer to allow the concrete to dry. The width of this concrete footer is 5 feet and 6 inches. And one more time, the depth of the footer is 30 inches below the frozen line. Of course, before you build a retaining wall, you need to consult with an architect to make sure you build the wall right. But as you can see here, we are building this wall. Very nice wall. It's going to be a beautiful wall after the wall is done. But a lot of the retaining wall, they fail because most of the contractors, they don't dig enough. They don't go below the frozen line. And then a few years later, the wall it just failed. Let me show you here. We have a old cinder block wall here. As you can see here, this wall, this is an old cinder block wall. And let me show you the footer. Look the footer. This footer is about 10 inches, 10 to 12 inches below grade. Okay? And as you can see here, this wall is already cracking. Other part of the problem with retaining wall is most contractors, they leave the block hollow. As you can see here, this block, it doesn't have a rebar. The block was not filled with a concrete to create a solid wall. So those factors are very important. Okay? So we build the retaining walls in the right way. Of course, if you not build a retaining wall, how it has to be built, you save labor and material, but on the long term, you will be affected. So we are located in Hyattsville, Maryland. We are planning to build a retaining wall called the Expert, Best Landscape and Construction. We serve Maryland and Washington, D.C. We build a retaining wall with the cinder block. We use a E.P. Henry block. We use a Teco block. We use a Nikola block. We build timber wall. We build gravity retaining walls. So if you plan to build your retaining wall, call the expert in the area. Best Landscape and Construction. We have over 15 years of experience building retaining walls. So one more time, I am Abel from Best Landscape and Construction. Thank you.